So there was this guy named Arjuna, and he was about to go into this huge war. And the whole idea is that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Don't do what other people do. It's better to be yourself and fail than to be somebody else and succeed. That's actually really hard to hear, especially in America, where we constantly being marketed to and sold false ideas of what we should want. Now, when I first heard this teaching, I thought it meant that I should detach from my emotions, that I shouldn't care about anything. Now, this is a really deep subject, but the basic idea is that sometimes you just gotta let go and trust that everything is gone. Nah, be okay. It's like when you driving in the car, and you on this crazy highway, and there's cars everywhere. And you swerving, and you trying to keep control of the steering wheel. But then all of a sudden you hit this pothole, and you lose control of the car, and you're like, oh my God, I hope this ends soon. And then finally you surrender to the situation, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna let go and see what happens. And sometimes that's what you have to do in life too. You have to surrender to the situation and trust that things are going to work out. But actually, the meaning is the opposite. The idea is that you should be emotionally attached to everything and everyone. But you should be attached to the outcome. Honestly, if I had to choose one book to recommend to everyone, it would be this one. And if you found this video helpful, please leave a like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. It's so timeless and so relevant. It's like if you're struggling with anything in your life, chances are the Bhagavad Gita has a solution. You shouldn't be attached to the results. For example, you might love your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you want to do anything for them. But you and force them to love you back. The only thing you can do is be the best version of yourself and let it go. And that's the idea of detachment. You can love and be emotionally involved, but don't be attached to the outcome. The whole concept of doing what's right for you is kind of foreign to most people, especially in the Western world, because we've been programmed since birth to do what everybody else is doing, to buy what everyone else is buying, to be a part of the herd. But doing what's right for you doesn't mean like making selfish decisions. It means making decisions that are aligned with your values, with your beliefs, with what you stand for. But the Bhagavad Gita goes a little bit further than that, because the Bhagavad Gita says that when you're redoing any action, you shouldn't be attached to the result. Whatever you do it as an offering to God. When I heard that, I immediately thought of Steve Jobs, who was known for being really intense and really passionate about everything he did. And I saw this interview where he was talking about how he would do boring tasks like cleaning the toilets at his company. And he said, even though I was the CEO, I didn't think that task was beneath me. And he talked about how everything he did, even the most mundane tasks, he did it with passion and with excellence. And that's the idea of doing everything as an offering to God. You're not allowed to have like separate tasks that are like lower level or whatever. Everything you do it with excellence. Like even if you plant a seed, you can't force it to grow into a tree. All you can do is put the seed in the ground and water it, and maybe add fertilizer or whatever. But the ultimate growing of the tree is totally up to nature and the environment. And that's how it is with life too. Like if you are going after a girl, or trying to get a new job, or trying to make money, or trying to do anything, you gotta do your best. But you can't be attached to the outcome. The only thing you can control is your actions. The rest is up to God. And I think that's a super important lesson for anybody who's struggling with something, whether it's their weight or their relationship status or whatever they're doing in their career. Don't be attached to the outcome. Just try your best and let it go. And he starts feeling bad because he's like, oh man, I might have to kill some of my own people, and I don't want to do that. And so he puts down his weapons and he's like, I don't want to do this. And the Lord Krishna, who's hanging out with him like in the same car, he's like, hey man, why don't you pick up your weapons again and do what you gotta do? And he's like, why would I want to do that? And Krishna says, well, I got 700 reasons why you should get back in the game. And then they start having this conversation, which is the basis for the Bhagavad Gita, which is basically like a philosophy of life. It's like a self-help book written 5,000 years ago. But the main thing that it's teaching is like how to handle your thoughts, how to handle your emotions, how to handle your life, how to handle your relationships. It's super, super useful stuff. And one of the core lessons is about the concept of karma. Karma is like the law of cause and effect. Another really interesting teaching from the Bhagavad Gita is that you should always do what is right for you. Okay, another really cool teaching from the Bhagavad Gita is this idea that you should never complain about what you have to do. Alright, now moving on to the next point, which is the concept of detachment. Next up is the idea of surrender. Alright, so these were some of the most valuable teachings from the Bhagavad Gita. Now if you want to dive deeper into the topic of Stoic philosophy, I highly recommend checking out this playlist right here.